But it runs in your blood. Beauty is a part of you who
Yes,
always
forever, girl.
it'll be with
The
you
fact that
forever.
the fact that I can get up literally 30 minutes ago, I was laying in the bed and I can get up and draw an eyebrow, put a little bronzer on.
A good face,
Myself,
honey.
You know, it's in me. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
How about that?
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, I'm Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer, and today joining me is the legendary Rayceen Pendarvis. Hey Rayceen.
How are you, my love? Greeting and salutations to all. We are so happy today. We are here with this amazing figure who has transcended many fields such as the beauty industry, the ballroom, television, film, now music, an activist, a fabulous diva, the one, the only, the world-renowned Miss Lauren.
Thank you for that introduction.
Yes, icon.
Pioneer Miss Pendarvis.
Yeah, thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
It's so great to have you here,
so
Miss Lauren. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me on y'all's platform. Like it's really
we had to. Your name was at like the top of the list when we did lists. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I mean, how are you doing? How's Atlanta? What's the tea? What's up?
I'm good. Atlanta is Atlanta. You know, the state opened 2 weeks ago? About 2 weeks ago, I think. And the people are out and about. I haven't been out, really. I just go to the market, which is a couple of blocks up from my house and back home. I've been staying in. I used this time. It was rough for me at the beginning when we first went dark, when everything got shut down. It was rough at first to just kind of find what my pace and my rhythm would be like in a shutdown, because I've never experienced that before. I don't think any of us has ever experienced this before. And once I finally got it together, I was good. I figured out what to do within my own space, which I think actually is a positive. To be able to use this time and be forced to be one with yourself and go deeper with your creativity, to go deeper with your spirituality. And I've been able to do that. So I can confidently say, like, right now, I'm really good.
Oh, that's great. And speaking of creativity, tell me how you've been inspired during this thing, to create and to do art and all of that. Tell me about that.
Well, I got inspired by what we need, what the world needs, and that is acknowledgement. I think we need acknowledgement for what has been and what has always been. And so for me, in particularly, I had been sitting on some music that I wrote and recorded about a year, maybe even a year and a half ago, about a year ago, I think. My new single that I just released, Say Her Name, I had been sitting on it. I recorded it a while back. And I got inspired to put it out during this pandemic when I noticed the way that the people of the women's culture was responding to this pandemic. The women that lead several different countries, the way that they've had fewer cases and the way their cases have been handled in a much better way than the other countries that lead in this pandemic. The way that I noticed how the nurses, which is a predominantly led female industry, the way that they have literally put themselves on the front line and just gone in completely, like full force, to make sure that people are okay, and the way that local legislators, female legislators, like my mayor here in Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and the mayor of New Orleans, have really, really stepped up to the plate and put themselves, their humility, what they look like as women, as head of households, as head of families, on the front line to make us better as communities during this time. It really inspired me to put this music out, which celebrates the women's culture, and not just women, those that I can identify with women's culture, those that have been able to extract from the culture of women. So that's every type of woman, that's any man, any child that can truly say they've been affected in some type of way, and they have a lot of the molecules, if you will, that come from the women's culture. And so that is what really inspired me to put that out and kept me going.
And that's amazing. I think that's so wonderful. Folks get a taste of what you've done on film, but now they got it on vinyl or CD, and it's this imprint of just a fragment of what you've done. I know you from beauty and ballroom.
Yeah.
And I call you my niece.
Yeah.
So, and I'm honored to call you that. But people don't know, when they first saw you on, when they were first introduced to you from the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was seeing you and I was like, oh my God, my beloved niece needs a bigger platform, their own show. And now to see you being able to transcend into film, television, music in a way that, if you don't know, folks will look back 30 years from now, some child in Minneapolis, Idaho, or Atlanta, in some rural place, who will look up and see you, and you will be that light and that inspiration to say, if Miss Lawrence can do it, I can do it.
Wow, thank you. And I'm only able to do it because people like yourself, people like a lot of the people that raised me in this world, in this community, outside of my birth mother and my sister and my father, but my gay mothers, my ally mothers, the Bevy Smith, my mother Sherry, who's from DC. People don't really know it. She stay in the background. You won't know Sherry. My home, my house, the house of Balenciaga. My grandmother Anna Lewell.
Yes.
All of those people. It's and a lot more that I don't even know whose shoulders I stand on. I'm able to be me because of them, and predominantly have been of the woman's culture.
Yeah,
that's what's very important to me.
But speaking of your music, I remember the first time I was acquainted with your music with Closet Free Girl from from back then. Yeah. And so it's so great to see how even doing that music brought you into everything else. You know what I mean?
It did. What's the difference what's different between then and now is that this time I'm 100 and solely like independent. I'm an independent artist with my music. So this is all me. Closet Freak was a product of, Closet Freak was a product of Real Housewives of Atlanta, which was great. I did that with Kanji Burris or what have you, but that was a product of that. So I really had no control or anything over that. So now I'm in total control of everything as it relates to my music. So that is extremely rewarding for me right now.
Oh God, that's so great. And I mean, you're also a business owner, right? So
I completely retired from the salon industry. I will forever say I'm a part of the beauty industry because it's just in me. But the salon industry, I let my salon go about 3 years ago, I think. So I no longer have my salon, but in terms of being an entrepreneur and continuing to develop and brand Miss Lawrence, technically, yes, I'm still a business person, but in terms of having an actual business, like a salon and any of that stuff, I closed that chapter.
I see. But tell us,
your blood. Beauty is a part of you.
Forever, girl.
It'll be with you forever.
The fact that I can get up literally 30 minutes ago, I was laying in the bed, and I can get up and draw an eyebrow, put a little bronzer on.
A good face, honey.
It's in me. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How about that? And can I tell you, I'm living for the cover of your new CD. I'm living. Oh,
thank you. Snatched. Listen, Daggy, I did that. I literally pulled some stuff out my closet and put some paint on, a little lash in there, and my friend, we took a picture, and that's it. And I'm like, here, edit this up, let's go, you know.
Oh
Man.
my goodness. And by the way, you have so much big things coming up. Tell me what it's like. I don't know if our audience knows this yet, but you're going to be in the upcoming United States versus
Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday. Tell me about that. Tell me how that experience was like for you.
So Lee Daniels is doing or has created another film, The United States versus Billie Holiday, which tells the story of Billie Holiday, but through a different lens. The lens of how the government played a key factor into the war on drugs through artists. So, and Billie Holiday being what, you know, the artist, the mother, you know, at that time, of course, of music and stuff. And my character who I play is a character who is gender nonconforming. His name was Miss Freddie. And Miss Freddie is a real person who Billie wrote about. Often the researchers that did the movie, that worked on the movie, found all of the journals and stuff about Miss Freddie written by Billie Holiday. He was her dresser. He dressed her. He put her in all her gowns, and the flower and all that kind of stuff was Miss Freddie. They were very, very close, and they partied together. They, you know, did everything together. Miss Freddie put herself on the line, put herself in the line of fire because she chose to exist authentically in who she was. So her being a person that extracted from women's culture, but also honored who she was just as an individual, she was often arrested, and they arrested her for what they classified back then being overdressed. You know, a lot of injustices happened during that time. You know, that was a big era of lynching. That was when it was at its height, and you know, so it was a very heavy film. It was a very taxing job to do. It's a very rewarding job because I got to tell the story of Miss Freddie, who nobody knows about. Back in the 40s and 50s, you really weren't allowed to be who you wanted to be, or who, you know, really walk and exist as yourself as an openly Black gay man that was an extrovert and feminine. That was unheard of, and that is primarily why you will never find like pictures of a Miss Freddie or hear about Miss Freddie or see anything anywhere, because it was designed to keep us in the shadows and to keep us hidden. Yeah, to keep us hidden. So to be able to bring Miss Freddie out and to tell his story, it was an honor. It was very hard to do, but it's so good at the same time. I had to go to bed. We shot for about 3 months, I think. I was in Canada. And I mean, I literally had to go to bed every night with that on me, with Miss Freddie on me. And it was very painful, but it was so good at the same time. It's the hardest work, but the best work I think I've done so far as an actor.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. People who, Billie Holiday is my favorite jazz singer of all time. So I'm very familiar with Miss Freddie and the stories, and because folks in the industry who will tell you about Miss Freddie, and so many people like Nina Simone had a very...
You heard of Miss Freddie?
Yeah, I've heard of Miss Freddie.
Really?
I've heard.
Wow, okay.
And how Nina Simone talks about the transgender woman who helped her and mold her. But we
Isn't
only...
that something?
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And you never hear about them.
You never do.
Through passing, like through other people who can tell their stories.
I tell people all the time, we have always been the source behind the force. Outside of God, we have always been the source behind the force, but had to remain in the shadows because of antithetical ideas of who we are. And it's just, you know, I'm so grateful for people like Ali and people like Orion Murphy, and who are not afraid to go there and to put us out there. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way we're going to be able to solve this bifurcated, you know, family that we have. And when I say family, I mean it's Black people. It's very divided and separated right now. And the only way we're going to be able to get across that bridge is by confronting it, but you can't confront anything until you can see it and call it by its name.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's important. You know what just came to me sitting here? If they ever did a film on Sylvester, I was looking at you just now and I was saying,
oh, she's giving you Sylvester tease.
I was given.
Ooh.
You know what? But I mean, because that, I mean, our stories really need to be told.
Stay tuned.
But you know, I like the
and
fact
I'm gonna
that
leave
you
it
guys...
right there. I'm gonna leave it right there because I feel it, and I don't know, but I see it coming, and I see the door opening to where our stories will be told. One, by actors who are part of the LGBTQIA community.
Which we definitely need. And I like that you guys brought up the fact about Miss Freddie, people not knowing about it, just the way how Black queer people have been doing what they've been doing for so long. I just found out that the first person to call themselves a drag queen
was a slave.
William Dorsey Swan.
Yes.
He was the first ever. Yes. And I didn't know about that. I did not know about that. Like someone like him, a film needs to be made about. You know what I mean? Because
how about that?
He's the original.
You know, like when you know, growing up here in Washington, I remember that, you know, I was a little younger, so I did not quite really catch until her later years when I found out about Mom's Mabel. I was young, but she used to have parties around the corner when we lived off of U Street where my cousin and them used to go. And they was like, "Do you remember the man that was standing on the corner? Do you know who that was?" Because Mom's Mabel was very butch and dressed, and they would say "man" all the time. So when my cousins and them introduced me to her, she was standing in a, you know, she was man down, but tie, everything. I had no idea that was Mom's Mabel. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was really nice and cool.
And it was a woman. Oh yeah.
You know, so I mean, those stories are so important, a part of who we are and the fabric of who we are. And you know, it's just
and
so
Miss Lawrence, you know, is a part of that history because, you know, I grew up in Jamaica. And, you know, watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that was the first time so many people had seen, you know, gender non-conforming people living their best lives and just giving it, you know, having the handbag, doing and just being their full selves. And I will never forget that. I will never forget it. Never forget it. So, like, you
were in Jamaica? You were still in Jamaica when that was on?
Yes, I only moved here in 2014. So, and I've been watching the Atlanta Housewives since it started. So, I was in Jamaica then, and I remember my mom, you know, because, you know, my mom's Jamaican.
Of course, yes.
So, and she would be like, "Whoa, girl!" Every time you and Derek J would come on, she would be like, "Whoa, girl!" And I would be like, "Well, honey, you got a queen in here too, bitch."
Did they know you were gay?
Let's give my mother the benefit of the doubt and say no, but she did, you know, since I was 3, she's always said, "Don't do that, don't hold your hand that way, don't walk that way, don't do it." So, you know, a mother always knows.
Yes.
But I think she tried her damnedest to prevent me from actually, you know.
Yeah.
No, it never works. Boo.
Of course, right.
Who we are, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. I'm good. Congratulations to you for honoring that. Like, you know what I mean? Because so many people don't. So many people feel like they have to conform to the standards of what their parents want or what society wants and wants to deem them as a man or as a woman. And, you know, they don't allow them the opportunity of freedom of expression. So I'm always so happy and grateful for people that choose to be honest and be bold about their life's choice and their walk. So good for you.
And it's so important. You being bold helps me. So I will say
isn't that a blessing?
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. Well, let me ask you this, just to wrap up the whole Billie Holiday film.
Yeah.
How was it working with the wonderful Tony Award-winning actress, Miss Audrey McDowell? Am I correct?
Andra Day?
Yeah. Oh no! I was thinking it was.
No, it's Andra Day.
Oh my God! Another fabulous. Okay, so good. So I was
Andra
looking
Day,
at wrong.
It too is also her first film. First acting anything. I think she told me. Man, let me tell you, that right there was such a treat. Not only is she one of the most incredible singers that I've ever seen and experienced like in person. But the way that she embodies Billie Holiday in this movie, the world is in for such a treat. They have no idea. It was like,
Wow.
I mean, it was so chilling. I mean, she would never, ever break character. We would have to go like to dinner and stuff as a cast, you know, because that, you know, that's a part of it to continue to get the rawness. I mean, we would sit at dinner and Andra would sit there. I mean, she would be it. She would sit there as Billie Holiday. I mean, it's the most insane, intense, chilling, eerie feeling I've ever experienced as an actor. And this is my third major project as an actor, but I mean, and her voice, it's her singing throughout the entire movie. It's her voice.
Wow. She's
Honey,
amazing.
honey, wait till you hear it. That voice and the way she gets the essence of Billie to her phrasing, her inflections, everything. It is like a ghost. It's crazy.
Wow.
And
First
y'all
time I saw her, I said, God, this young lady reminds me of Billie Holiday the first time I saw her.
Man,
She
y'all,
was
the
eerie.
world is in for a treat. That's all I gotta say. They are in for a treat. And another person, two other people that I was so happy to be able to work with, and we've become really, really close friends. One is Tyler Williams, who, I don't know if you guys remember him. He played Everybody Hates Chris.
I know, I remember him.
Yes. So Tyler is in the movie, and Davine Joy Randolph, we just saw her in Eddie Murphy's Dolomite.
Yes.
Who stole the movie. We all, the four of us, me, her, him, and Billie, it was mainly like the four of us, and it was, oh my God, that was just it was such a moment. It was so good. We're very close now because of that experience, because all of us really took on our characters, really took on that time and that era of life. And so literally, like I said, we went to bed with it because we wanted to be able to give our best performances ever. And so that's how we operated. And so we shared a closeness. We shared a very deep time together. You know what I mean? To get through this movie and give it out. Also, because of that, I love where we are as friends even after this movie. And Lee Daniels is so genius in the way that he teaches and the way that he gets what is needed to be able to tell stories. And I couldn't imagine a better person to do this movie and to bring this out. He has a way with his artistry where you get such raw, real content, and anybody that watches the movie, it's like his movie Precious, how real and raw it was. It's I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so good.
But he has that way of pulling that out of everybody.
Honey, he will get what he wants. He will get what he wants, and he doesn't stop until he gets it. And I think that's why so many people that he's worked with have gotten nominations and Oscar nods and stuff like that. I mean, you know, he's gotten a lot of, from Halle Berry and Monsters Ball. You know, he directed that where she got an Oscar. From Monique to working with Morgan Freeman on stuff. I mean, he has a way about his artistry that is very hard to match.
Yes.
To pull some real stuff out of you. And I'm glad I was able to. I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I mean, I had to call on some of my prayer warriors at night sometimes, but I made it through it. I feel like I gave my best work yet. So I can't wait for everybody to see it.
And I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. But before we go, let everybody know all the things you have coming up, all the projects, how they can follow you, and all of that. Plug everything.
Well, so now know about the United States versus Billie Holiday movie. Don't know when it's scheduled to come out at this point. It was supposed to be 2020, but I don't know. 2020 is pretty much done now, obviously. But so I don't know. I don't know where that is. My new single, Say Her Name, is out right now everywhere. And that's pretty much it. I'm trying to put together merchandise like t-shirts, sweatshirts and stuff, just branding the song and things of that nature. So working on that. So hopefully within the next couple weeks, that'll be out on, and you can find it if you follow me on any of my social handles at Miss Lawrence or Lawrence ATL, I think is on Twitter, but primarily Miss Lawrence. You can find me, and I make posts all the time. And you know, that's it. I have other projects that are in the works, but again, everything is dark and black right now in the entertainment industry, so I can't really talk about any of them. But you know, once we're able to press play on life outside of home, then you know, I'll be able to talk more about it, and I'll come back and talk to you guys some more.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
That. We love that so much. And you know what? Thanks for joining us today. This was a good kiki, honey.
I love it. I'm so glad y'all had me.
Always sending you virtual love and hugs.
I love you.
And all of that.
I love you so much, Rayceen. I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to
again.
Look, very soon.
Yes, very soon. Send Monica my love. I love
I
Monica.
will.
Okay.
I will tell my baby. And to everybody, to all of our viewers, thank you for watching.